Hey, here we go. Big football weekend. Parker and the Man page, yournews.com. This Friday, January 22nd for 2010. Mark Wilson with your webcam, and here we are. Serious football business this weekend, this Sunday. You got your Colts and Jets. You got your Vikings and Saints in that order. Of course, the Colts will host New York. And last time we saw them play, Peyton Manning and the rest of the starters came out. The Jets actually got into the playoffs that way by beating Indianapolis. This time won't be the same thing because Peyton Manning's going to play the whole game, at least, barring any problems. And as far as the Viking Saints, you got your Favre, you got your Brees, you got your Darren Sharper story, you got a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of back-end stuff. But obviously the Brett Favre thing is huge for Minnesota. And the column today is about the quarterbacks being the key to this thing. It's like they pretty much are in football anyhow. But the difference is it's kind of, I like to localize it. I like to bring the Lions into play. Because quite frankly, 3 of the 4 quarterbacks you're going to see this Sunday could have been Lions. Favre could have been, Brees could have been, and certainly Mark Sanchez could have been this past year. With the whole thing with Matt Stafford, before the Lions decided on Stafford as the number 1 overall pick. And then Matt missed all those games, and Sanchez missed just 1. They both had about the same stats, about 13 touchdowns, 20 picks, weren't great. But Sanchez is the winner, Stafford, so far, incomplete, if you want. So otherwise, not so much. And the Favre, you'll see some of the history about that, and of course, the Lions' quarterback history is just so fantastic. Since we haven't had a championship around here since 1957, that was Bobby Lane and Tobin Rote. And you got to remember long and hard to know those guys. You know those guys because of history, but you have to be a pretty old dude or old female to remember those guys in that game. Now, 52 years ago, and if you're like 10 or 15, you're in their 60s. So check that out, and don't forget, the Lions haven't had a Pro Bowler since Greg Landry in 1972. It's a long time ago. You got to think long and hard to remember that. That was 37 years ago. So that's part of the column. It's the quarterbacks the key to this weekend as we get our 2 participants in the Super Bowl heading to Miami, Florida in February. The new Michigan State logo. I used to like the block S. Maybe I'm just an old school guy. I like the block S, but that Warrior helmet thing, do I have that here? No, I don't have it. I thought, I thought I had a picture of it right here. I don't. It doesn't matter, because you all know what it is. Well, they've got a new one, and I described it in kind of a weird way. I'll just tell you now. I described it as kind of a Darth Vader thing with a Deborah Norville haircut. It's a little different. Not much different, but the school is set to unveil it in April, but I guess it's already been unveiled. And there was a poll on Channel 7's website, WXYZ TV. 91% hate it already, so that's pretty good, a span of people, who think this is how many people like it, and this is how many people don't like it. So check it out for yourself. You can see it on their website, and probably other ones too. The starters for the NBA All-Star Game, one kind of good, one kind of bad. Allen Iverson will start for the East. The fans voted him in. He's at least played more than Tracy McGrady, who did not get voted in by the fans, as it turned out. He led most of the way. Steve Nash made a last push. The Phoenix people stuffed those ballot boxes or something. So Nash takes the place of McGrady. And you can check out all about the starters. I think you know who they are. Kobe Bryant, by the way, is the starter for the West, obviously. And he just passed, was he the 18th guy, 16th guy? NBA history to score 25,000 career points. A little bit on Miguel Cabrera's alcoholism treatment. You might have heard about it. You probably have. Miggy talked about it yesterday. He's been on this Tiger Caravan that stops at Tiger Fest tomorrow at Comerica Park. That is Saturday starting, I think, at 11. And he's a whole new Miguel Cabrera, he claims. If he can do the way he did, hit the way he did, for all those years that he claims to have been kind of on the sauce there, then he finally had the problem, obviously, with his wife, the domestic dispute, where he went to the police station. Dave Dombrowski bailed him out. That was that last weekend, painful weekend of the baseball season in 2009. Maybe he does have it together, and what numbers he could produce now. What kind of leadership could he bring if he's a sober cat? Claims he hasn't touched a drink since that October 3rd incident. So he was a smiling, happy Cabrera at Comerica Park and during this little Tiger Caravan tour of the state of Michigan. So you can read a little bit about that as well. And I'm just throwing it out there right now. Here we are on Friday. Monday is Ernie Harwell's 92nd birthday. That's January 25th, so give it up to Ernie. We're all still crossing our fingers on, Ernie's, battle with the inoperable cancer, the bile duct cancer. But as it stands right now, Ernie will celebrate his 92nd birthday, born in 1918, on Monday. Michigan State, Minnesota, your college basketball offering in the Big Ten tomorrow. Michigan and Purdue, both are on the road. A little bit about the arenas there, too. Williams Arena is the oldest arena. I don't think anything's older. 1928 it goes back to in the Big Ten. And Mackey Arena at Purdue, 1967, is 4 days older than Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor. 4 days. They both opened the same year. Purdue, I think, started their first game on December 2nd, and Michigan at Chrysler on December 6th. If I keep that all in my brain here. Northwestern I call the worst arena, that former McGaw Hall, Welsh Ryan Arena. Terrible place. Awful. And it seats like 8,000 people still. It's like a DePaul Arena or something, Loyola of Chicago. Not for a Big Ten school. But I'm mentioning these two games, big games obviously for Michigan. They need the wins, all the wins they can get. Michigan State, first place in the Big Ten, trying to go to 7-0 for the first time in Tom Izzo's history. And the next time we see these guys after tomorrow will be Michigan and Michigan State in Ann Arbor on Tuesday, Super Tuesday, and they'll be the marquee game, Michigan State and Michigan, Spartans and Wolverines, hopefully without that new logo, on Tuesday at Chrysler. So there you go, check it all out, the quarterbacks, the Lions Association, how they could have had 3 of the 4 that are playing this weekend. There's some, it's a stretch, but they could have had 3 of the 4. Starters in the NBA All-Star Game. The reserves will be announced next week. Cabrera's alcohol treatment. Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers. Ernie turning 92 on Monday. How about that? And the 2 big basketball games for big basketball. All the big games now. Everything's a big game. All right, so on the Parker Demand page, yournews.com. There you go. Check it out.